Sharing today, even though I see my video, the front camera reflection is still having issues with the screen protector. So I'll start with a Brach talk. When I can't receive love, please don't believe your thoughts. Please pause. Please choose love. There is neurobiological psychology, which means we have behavioral, interpersonal, and what you might call evolutionary or evolved or adaptive. Thought, belief, habit, destiny, root into love and respect for all beings. The neurons that fire together wire together. So there's something called subcortical looping when there's a stimulus chain reaction. This is called reactivity, right? So there's upwards input and downward regulation that can get off balance. And mindfulness practices becomes a trait, a remembrance of morality, a bigger picture, where we get the space to choose. And are these thoughts toward connection and healing and freedom, or serving a separate, deficient, and beleaguered self? Thoughts and ideas are never realities, the living experience at best. A representation they are that can be heavily misguided and have negativity bias and be fear-based. Thinking can point past words if used right. We can act out of insecurity. When fear meets fear, we create responses that depend on that insecure experience. Forgetting I'm a smoker, for example, there was someone who woke up one day and just didn't smoke. Smoking stops. We have to hold our identity in motion. And also there's this idea that when the 5-to-1 ratio, or 5 good things, well, people say there's 1 out of 5. So if you're going to say one negative thing, you have to fill the other 5 up with 4 positive things before you give constructive criticism. This is nurturing, character building. It helps the other one bloom rather than just latching on negativity. And I'm going to share now about Rethink Love from Berg. Baggage claim, right? We have physical quick fixes that don't work for heart work. When we live in this disposal society looking for newness, romance, excitement, long-term dissatisfaction from cutting the processes and challenges short with drasticness instead of correction and repair, they're going to carry the same issues, going to attract same energy versus growing and evolving through pain and discomfort means not seeing it as a victim, getting punished. Hits us at most raw, sensitive, vulnerable places. Shame, fear, inadequacy, guilt, and anxiety. Our tikkun, or our correction, is where it hurts the most because change is most needed. To be without blemish or flaw, commitment, to betray the self, confrontation, and honesty. Every difficulty builds strength from seeing weaknesses. For example, the fear of dying alone. These are the places we try to hide the habitual repeated behavior, the recurring theme of people and relationships, whether it's conflict averse, distrust, selfishness, rigid in beliefs, people-pleasing, impetuous, abandonment, indecision, feeling unworthy of love, commitment, rejection. And since emotions are signals and we put others' needs before ours, we're lacking boundaries. The person doesn't see us as lovable, so we have to please them. The energy created from an energy transmutation is dischargeable as we choose. So we have to identify and define by good in ourselves, not as something bad. If the voice in our head is punishing and mean, and we feel like a victim, we'll repeat it again and again. The mantra in our head, I'm not an abuser, victim, or abused from now on. I'm not part of that anymore. Emotions are vital for development. Not being able to tolerate the negative feedback leads to avoidance and addiction. Thinking of jealousy is low self-esteem, fear of rejection, feeling unworthy. We project or we own who we are. We communicate through emotion. Which emotions support connection. Reacting drives disconnection. So we can bring awareness to our tikkun, our correction, and embrace the opportunities with love. The default ego emotion can often be shame, like mine, for example. I'm thinking for resentment, sadness. It's about power. I was shamed for not wanting to be sexual as a teenager because I was so taught that it's shameful to be that way. Like I was supposed to abstain. According to my culture. And finally, I'll share from Patricia Albier. It's called Mutual Awakening. So, choosing how to derive meaning from our emotions, we grow up giving self over to an evolutionary process without pre-digested practice at the edge of discovery, continuous revealment. In the geosphere, the biology, the latitude of choice, expression of individual self is clearly limited to the range of our current capacity that's been gifted. When we have downloads, it's like unity despite the edges, the straight lines, the compartmentalization. Currently, we're so refined in that capacity for our awakening is so more than ever. We're in this technosphere channeling divinity, ability to see causality, free choice, and karma, our own power as co-creators, differentiation, can unspecialize it, revert to original, undoing, creating new patterns, pathways from the core self, shared unity, deep connection, individuation derived from origin. Sincerity, tenderness, humility, generosity, these are coordinates, origin points. Particular formlessness, find the source point. In this multidimensionality, we have this potential energy birthed as life from the original point, shared divinity, dissolution of what's familiar, the sure, the forever, the present, the nurturing, the open, the solid, firm, natural, rising hope, nurturing, shared, I wrote nurturing twice, authentic and warm. And I'll stop here, and I wish you a beautiful evening, and I hope you're well. And today was Rachel, Yaakov, Jacob, the forefather, his wife's yard site.